Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3, Episode 7, Chaos Theory. Now, after the big reveal from the last episode, this was the one where it's like, what is really going to happen? And I was really surprised that the way they took things was May didn't tell anyone, and she went to confront Andrew on her own. And I kind of like that. We got, his initial concept, at least, where he's like trying to control, Lash, and it's like he's talking to the guy from the season premiere, where it's like, this guy's, kind of gotten a master of his abilities and stuff like that, or at least more control. I shouldn't say master, but he's gotten a lot more control over it. He doesn't freak out that he's going to hurt anyone or himself. And we have this crazy stuff. Like, they had the scene when he was first like, I'm in control, and then he just got killed. For when it first happened, I was like, holy crap, it was like instantaneous. And then right after it happened, I was like, oh wait, he's dreaming, because like the other cops didn't, the other bodyguards were like right there, they didn't show up. So it took me like 1 second. I was like, oh, okay, this is just like, he's just seeing things in his head. But that was a really good scene, because it was intense. I was like, I don't know if he's gonna kill this guy or not, because it didn't look like he was maintaining as much control as he probably should have. And I think most likely he would have killed that guy. Like, he said no to May, of course, but I'm like, I'm pretty sure he was going to lose it, because he's like, the guy's just talking like, I could be a good weapon, and this and that, I could help, the team out. And it seemed like those were, like, keywords for him when he heard him say, like, weapon, and it's like, you could be a dangerous weapon, or, like, a self-destructive weapon, and stuff like that. It seemed like he would go, like, the pessimistic route and see the worst-case scenario. And then that would instantly make him turn into Lash, where it's like, my instinct, although it's more him just kind of creating the worst scenarios in his head, that would lead him to killing off the guy in this episode. But fortunately, May comes in at the last minute, stops everything. And then Andrew has to shoot her because he didn't want to lash out. He didn't want to, like, turn in front of her, which he felt he was about to, which kind of proves that he was totally going to listen on the guy, because she was just like, why didn't you tell me this and that? And he kept denying it at first until he, like, shot her. Then we get the full explanation, and it was fast. I was not expecting it to be, like, the day after they got back from their honeymoon, or just their little vacation. I figured it was going to be, like, really in between seasons, which technically it was. But I thought it would be, like, right in the middle there. But it was, like, May left S.H.I.E.L.D. They went on vacation for like a week or something. He gets back, he opens up a book with a crystal in it, boom, he turns into Lash. He gets hit, he transforms, and that was pretty much it. And then he had this urge, as he says, to be near other Inhumans. And he met his first one, and he instantly killed him. In the flashback, I thought it was interesting that was actually in their home, because there was like a dead Inhuman on the ground, and it was their house, because May was knocking on the door like, is everything okay? So I thought that was interesting, because it made me wonder, like, how did he get that Inhuman to his house? Like, that was the big question I had. I kind of wish they talked about that a little bit, like, just what happened. But ultimately, he killed that person, so that was that was obviously the focus. So that was pretty crazy. It was just an insane episode. Lincoln, I was really surprised by that, because I thought for sure Lincoln's storyline was going to just be separate. So he calls Mac, and I like the way they did that. It was really minor. It was only like 2 scenes, but it started off like Andrew walking down the hallway, and Mac was on the phone. It was like, I don't know why you're calling me. Just tell me your location. So I was like, all right, that's gotta be, Lincoln. Like, at first, I thought it was gonna be like some relationship thing that they were introducing, because he's like, I don't know why you're calling me and stuff. And then he said the location thing. I was like, oh, it's Lincoln. Okay. So, it was like in passing, you hear the dialogue, Andrew kind of listens in, but he keeps going. And then when May comes back to the base and she's on the computer, they have Mac, like, look at her, but he just walks, like, right past her. I was like, that's kind of cool. Like, you can obviously tell it's Mac, and something important's going on there, but I just like the way they did it, where it was kind of, like, in the peripheral, and nothing, it wasn't, like, a big focus, aside from when he was actually speaking, because obviously they focused on the dialogue. But it was just like, oh, there's Mac walking right past May right now. Where's he going? So I like how they shot that, just those 2 little scenes. And then he meets Lincoln, and it's like, I called you because, for one, they kind of skipped over this too. Like, I was surprised Mac didn't have a comeback for it. But he was like, I called you because I didn't want to risk Daisy's life. And it was kind of just like, as soon as he said that, I was like, man, he just doesn't give enough about Mac. But he said that, and then it's like, I also trust you because we fought side by that monster, so it rules you out. And then he dropped it, and it was like, Lash is a part of S.H.I.E.L.D. I was like, I did not expect him to figure that out so quickly, or at all. I thought it was going to be something totally different. But I like that, and it blended them together. And this officially got Lincoln as a part of the team because by the end, Mac is like, "Are you gonna take closing up on his offer to stay around?" And he's like, "Well, you can't run forever." So Lincoln's gonna officially be a part of the team now, which is really cool because I like Lincoln, and it's gonna be nice to see him officially staying with Shield and being a part of the team on. Depending on how they do it, he probably won't be like just on all the missions and stuff, but he'll at least be a part of something. Most likely, he'll be on the missions with Daisy and Mac because obviously he's an Inhuman. He'll help bring other people in just like they do, and he'll probably be a better counselor than even Daisy was because that's kind of what his position was to begin with. So it'll be cool to see that take place. I don't think that'll be a big focus anymore because that was kind of an in between season thing where they would kind of help save Inhumans. They've had some stuff to do. Yeah, that's kept them busy from their normal mission. Like, oh, let's get this Inhuman and that Inhuman and help them deal with their abilities. They've been distracted lately, so there probably won't be much of a focus, even with him, joining the team right now. But once things die down a little bit, which they technically have, they did take Lash out in this episode, which May totally could have killed Andrew because Coulson's like, "How'd you know that wouldn't kill him?" And she's like, "I didn't." And I, it was a very Hulk like moment where he got shot, but he came back up as Lash. But with that having taken place, I'm not sure what the next episode is really going to be like. I think the next big focus is going to be them hunting Ward and them trying to get Will back are probably going to be the two really big storylines because Ward right now is our other really big villain, and he met with the guy who's like sort of like the big problem solver, or was the big problem solver of Hydra, and he now wants to be one of the heads of Hydra. So they've still got some stuff going on to distract them. So I don't think Lincoln is really gonna kind of pick back up into his old role of just helping bring people in and teaching them about how to control their powers and keep themselves as well as their friends safe. But great to see him officially joining the team. He certainly had a moment where he snapped in this episode when everything is like, all right, everybody just hold on, let Coulson deal with this issue. We gotta help May, we gotta help Andrew, and he's like, you killed you killed my species basically. You're wiping us out. I'm gonna kill you right now, and that was pretty much it. Lincoln was not taking any crap. Um, Awesome show of power in this episode because he did like the sort of charge ball thing and then he like shot it at him. I was like, that's what I like seeing for his powers because it's been like really simple stuff. I was like, he's got lightning powers. They gotta like play it up because it's awesome. So I love seeing that where he like charges a ball in the middle and then shoots it like like he's Raiden or something. It's like ah. So that was really awesome. I love seeing that. But he does come around, like even in the middle of the fight, he kind of comes around and realizes like I'm not gonna take this thing out, and I'm just gonna get other people hurt. So he does work with him, and he uses himself as bait a little bit. And then May steps in, and she's actually able to get Andrew back. So that was actually a really cool ending. And then it was kind of messed up because when she shot him, I'm like, I don't think that's an icer. Because even the way it sounded, I'm like, that seems like it's just a handgun. And then when Coulson said what he did, I was like, it was, it was really a handgun. And she was just trying to kill him because that's what she had to do. So, fortunately, they have Lash. They're going to take him to the ATCU. Rosalind's going to put him in that, their jail thing as Andrew, hopefully. Because they did knock him out as Lash. Hopefully he does, like, convert back. And that's another big thing that's revealed in this episode, thanks to Lincoln, is that Andrew is actually going through transformation still. This isn't like a Hulk, Bruce Banner type of thing. His powers just aren't, fully revealed yet, or like they aren't at 100%. So Andrew is going to be gone forever if they don't find this cure. And when Lincoln said that, I was like, that's insane. Like I thought for sure his ability was like this uncontrollable, transformation. And then we find out that this is just him going through transition. Like this is still his transition point, his transition point. And once he's done, he's going to be Lash forever. So that could still happen. Like that may or may not happen. I don't know. We'll see what takes place. But I feel like the Lash storyline is going to end up blending with the Hydra storyline, because I feel like they may or may not find the facility, and they might try to destroy it, and Lash would be the only one to survive if they did that. So that's a huge thing, because they would have killed off a bunch of people, but they'd also be people that we don't know. So they could easily do that, and it's like, oh, that really sucks because they killed off all those Inhumans, but the only main Inhuman would be Lash, and he would totally survive that explosion. And then Lash is free again, and they still don't have this cure, and then it's officially Lash 100%, and we lose, Andrew as a character. But we'll have to wait and see, depending on how powerful Hydra gets. Because right now, Ward really does just have a bunch of people and some machine guns. It seems like they don't really have that much. They're always in like just random places, and it's like people loading machine guns. That's all we ever really see. It's like Ward on the phone, guns and people in the background, and that's it. Like, he has warehouses, we know that. And so now he has like this extra something going on, with the new guy. So we'll see how that plays out too, because neither of them really seem like they like each other at this point. And we also find out that, in the very last, I think it was the very last scene of the episode, but not only do we find out that this guy is actually a part of the White House, and he was supposed to be the one that Coulson went to meet with, but in that same scene we find out that Rosalind and Coulson have officially done it. So they are a real thing now. It's not just like, it seems like they could end up together. They are together now. They slept with each other. I don't think she knows who this guy really is, and I hope that's the case. And I really don't think that she knows, because otherwise they would have just been killing off the Inhumans. And all in all, that could totally be the case still. We don't really know. You could easily have one display and have a bunch of empty cases, because that thing went down like this longest CG hallway I've ever seen, and it kind of just vanished, and it went up on like a little shelf or whatever, but all those other ones could totally be empty. Like, we don't really know. But I'm assuming that Rosalind doesn't actually know that this guy is evil or anything like that, because it wasn't menacing at all. She really was just like, oh, something came up, but I'll bring him to you as soon as possible. But at the same time, that could just be her character. You don't always have to have menacing dialogue when you're a bad character. So I'm hoping that she is still a good character. She just doesn't know, like, who this guy is. And considering it's like, presidential status for this guy, if he really has that, she's probably been duped by this guy, which wouldn't be surprising, because it's Hydra. If you're even remotely a part of Hydra, you got some certain skill sets. So it wouldn't surprise me if she was actually tricked by this guy the whole time. But they're together, might lead to some really bad crap. I don't know, now that I think about it, they could encounter this guy and Ward could actually be there, and then that's how they find out this guy is actually a part of Hydra, and then crazy mass chaos shootout. Don't know, but every time something happens, I just think like there's some way to tie all this, all these storylines together real easy, and that's always the way. Like, Hydra can do something bad basically, and then it's like, oh, everything's Hydra again. But I like this episode. It was definitely a fun one. The reveal that Andrew's actually going through transformation still does kind of make me think now, if someone destroys the facility or even knows about Lash and just wants him as a chaotic weapon, which would most likely be Hydra just to, F with S.H.I.E.L.D, they can totally do that. That's all they would have to do, is just basically break him out of that and just let him transform until he stops, and he's Lash forever, and he's seemingly impossible to beat so far. Like, they shot him up. Even as Andrew, he was shot up like 5 or 6 times, and then he came back as Lash. So they don't have a way to defeat him just yet, and we just have to see how that plays out. But I like this episode. We did get to see, there was a really funny scene where Hunter and Bobby were with Fitz at the end, when he finds out that there's, most likely it's going to be exactly what he said, which is like this secret organization that was like beyond NASA, and they're the ones that sent Will. But when they saw that picture, Hunter's like, well, I'm just going to say what we're all thinking. He has a hog face. And I just love that. That's what makes me love Hunter, because he's always like supporting Fitz, and it's like, oh, that other guy sucks and this and that. And that was the first thing he said, and Fitz was like, he does have a hog face. I was like, Hunter's just like a really good buddy to have when you're in doubt, and there's like another guy, with the girl that you care about. And he's just like, you know what? He has a hog face. I was like, that's just one of the big reasons I like Hunter. But that was a good scene. Fitz also had an amazing scene when he was listening to the recordings. Once again, every season they do something amazing with these, with Fitz and Simmons, and this is just about another really great episode. And he's just like tearing up, and it's like and then that when that episode actually aired, it was like that was a really big deal that she was only talking to Fitz. That obviously meant a lot. And then he got those recordings and everything. And when he saw that picture of her and Will together, it messed with him. Like, it messed up his head, and he was upset for a bit. And then we got the ending where he tells us, like, I listened to all those recordings, and he was about to say, like, I know that you weren't, in the right mindset. And she was like, was as clear-headed as I've ever been. And it's like, well, there's no real solution right now. Like, for now, we just, there's nothing we can do with that. Like, you know how you felt then, and we know how you feel right now about Will. It's like, for now, let's just, watch the sunset, or watch the sunrise. And it was just like, this is really, really good. It's just fun watching them. Like, I want to root for Fitz so bad, but I don't hate Will. Like, we got a whole episode with him. I don't hate the guy, but it's like, Fitz has had 2 seasons on him, and it's like, I gotta root for Fitz, but, I don't want the guy to be stuck there. I do want them to save him, but then it's like, once that happens, it's like, oh, it's just gonna be, like, devastating for Fitz, and I don't want to see that, because I love Fitz. He's a great character, and all he's wanted to do is, like, date Simmons, like, within the second season. And just everything that happened, just kind of, he's been changed so much, but it's been for the better, without a doubt. And that was just another great moment for this episode, and their characters in general. Like, his scene alone, and then the scene when they're watching the sunrise was really great, too. But definitely a great, great episode. They got rid of Lash temporarily, so I can't wait to see what they do with this Hydra stuff, because that's obviously where they're going. It's Hydra and getting Will back. So now we got rid of Lash for a little bit. Now we have this whole conspiracy theory going on, and we still have Hydra and Ward. So we still got a lot to deal with, but I'm looking forward to it. Of course, though, I want to know what you guys thought about this episode, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts, and because Lash is clearly, like, the big villain for this season, I want to know your speculations for how Slash might actually be brought back into the show as, the big threat that he really is. Because, like I said, it's probably going to be Hydra. Like, alright, they're tied to the ATCU. Why don't we just blow up this facility? Or at least, get Lash freed. And that'll be a way to destroy S.H.I.E.L.D. Because Ward is like, I want to cut off the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. because their head won't grow back. Destroy Coulson, and there's nothing. So that's a great way to do it. But I want to know your speculations, how you guys think, whether it's Hydra or just something random. How is Lash going to be brought back as the big bad for this season? So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.